everyone, and I hope you've all had a very happy Christmas. It's Susan Kennedy here, and I'm broadcasting today from my home. So I've been on location the last couple of weeks, and today I'm back home in my beautiful sacred healing space where I do my readings at home and where I do my healings and where I do all my writing as well. So it's got a beautiful energy, and I'm really happy to be broadcasting to you today from the Gold Coast in Australia. So we just had Christmas. I hope it was wonderful for you. It's always a really emotional time, I find. And it was interesting here on Christmas Day. It was really, really hot. Obviously, here in Australia, we get we have our summer now. And on Christmas morning, oh my goodness, it was probably one of the hottest days of the year. And by the afternoon, a big storm was brewing, and there was wind everywhere, and there was lightning, and there was thunder, and there was rain in the afternoon. And it just reminded me of how Christmas time, there can be a lot of emotions. You know, it can be good, it can be bad. We're spending time with people we don't always spend time with. Sometimes we're disappointed. Sometimes we're really happy. But I know that emotions usually run very high one way or the other. So, hope you managed and worked your way through it. I certainly did. I had a very quiet one, spent it with some friends, and it was really beautiful. So now we're approaching New Year. So this time next week, it will be 2018. And it's always a time to reflect, I feel, on, those who aren't with us anymore. The dreams that we had, things we said we would do, things we hoped we will do. So in making your plans for next year, I don't like to call them resolutions myself, I would just say making your plans for next year, take some time just to go into your heart and to see what it is that your spirit most wants you to express. Because oftentimes when we think about plans for next year, we think about our money, or we think about our business, or we think about what we can do for other people. But I really invite you to really take some time to go within and to look at ways that you can fulfill yourself in a much deeper and more connected way. So I know for myself, one of the things I love to do is spend time drawing and painting. And I really don't give myself enough time to do these things. So that's one of my promises to myself for next year. It's not a resolution, it's more of a promise. And for me to do that, it just takes a little bit of focus. So to be able to focus on myself at least once a week and say, well, what did I do this week that gave me joy? And where's my passion? And have I allowed myself to do that? Because I don't know about you, but it's so easy to jump in to helping everybody else, to looking at what work we haven't done or what housework needs to be done. And sometimes we just lose time. So really encourage you just to think about what you want for yourself for next year and maybe make a couple of promises to yourself. And one of the things I've done is I've put some things around my home that actually are on the walls and tells me, it's a little bit of a mantra. So saying things about, an appreciation for the many ways I nurture myself and I love my body and that I do what's right for me each and every day. So that at least that's going into here and I'm creating new pathways in my brain that say to me, oh, Susan, what have you done for yourself today that's joyful? But yeah, just the little things. I think it's just the little things that matter. So 2018 is a year of balance. It's a year of choice. It's about choosing. It's a number 2. So do you choose to do something with someone else or do you choose to do something for yourself? And remembering that there's a very fine line between rushing in and rescuing people in your life to waiting to be asked to help. And when somebody asks you for help, always think about how can you show them how they could do it differently. Because if they've asked you for help, it means that they don't really know how to do whatever it is. So what they're really asking for is, can you show me how? Can you show me a different way that I could do this so that I can be independent and I can be empowered? Because I really don't think any of our family or friends want to be helpless or powerless. It's not something we want. So I know that when you're looking at what you can do for other people, try to stay out of the rescuer mode and get into the teacher mode or the empowerer mode and just say, how can I help? What is it you need to know? How can I share my wisdom? What steps don't you understand? And that way you'll find it's a much happier and more peaceful time for you and for other people. Okay, so I'm just going to wait now. Very shortly I'm going to take my first call. And as always, I just like to say with the readings, they're for guidance only. And, you know, it's a very short space of time that I have to share with you if you get chosen for your reading. And if you've not yet been chosen for a reading and you'd like to come onto the show, then go onto the website and have a look at the numbers. I'm just seeing with Dave where he is and what's happening. So, okay, so we've got our first caller now, who is, her name's Karen, and she's in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Hello, Karen. How are you today?
Good, thank you. And you?
I'm really well, thank you. Just dealing with a lot of heat here at the moment, but managing well.
It's very cold here.
Yeah, we're always at the opposite, aren't we? My daughter lives over there. She's in Atlanta, and it's always the opposite. She's always in the snow, and I'm always in the sun. And then when she's in the summer, we're in the cold. So it's always the opposites. How can I help you today, Karen?
I would like to know if my son, his name is Jason, is he okay, and will he get in touch with me?
Okay. So the sense I have with your son is that he is okay. I feel like that he is working on himself and he's doing a lot of thinking about life. And I know that he struggles a lot with himself is how I see him. But I do know that he is okay, and I feel as though there's been people around him that are helping him and have welcomed him wherever he is. My sense is whatever happened between you both was more his inability to deal with his own thoughts. You know, I get a sense of a lot of confusion around him, and you would know that he's been quite depressed in his life.
Okay. Because I think he just stopped, I don't know, he stopped talking to me and just stayed away. There was just stayed away.
Yeah. So oftentimes, the thing that I see with him is that he's just trying to figure out his own life. And sometimes people find it difficult to, sometimes they feel there are expectations on them when there aren't. So I know that for him, he's doing, what I see is he's doing a lot of work on himself, and that he's really, trying to figure himself out is how it seems. What's his birthday, Karen?
October 26th.
Yeah.
1980, yes, October 26th.
Yeah, what year, sweetheart?
1981.
81?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because he's highly intuitive and very sensitive, which is what I do feel. And I know that he doesn't handle conflict very well. And not that there's conflict in your life, but he just hasn't learnt yet how to speak up and how to find himself. And I really just feel that's where he is, that, he's sort of untangling himself in a way from everybody else so that he can focus his attention on himself. And I don't see it as a bad thing. I don't feel that he doesn't love you. I just feel that he hasn't learnt yet how to communicate in a way that is loving, so that because I feel he would get easily irritated when you were around, in your time that you were together, but that's never been about you. It's more about him. His path in life is to find balance, and he's always going to look at how he can find physical and emotional balance. I think he treads that fine line himself, of knowing what's right for him and what's wrong. And he's also here to learn about personal power. So on his journey, I feel he's just doing what he's meant to do. I'm just going to draw some cards for you as well to see what insight we get from that. And I just get a sense, the cards are that it's flowering and it's participation. And yeah, it's about letting go of the thoughts and the mind. So I would just be sending love to him in your own way, because I feel obviously around Christmas time, it's as though there's that missing part of you. Yeah?
Right. Oh, I totally understand.
Yeah.
So you describe him to a T.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what I do know about him is he's a beautiful boy. He's very much a hard worker, is what I feel. And I do know that he's doing everything he can to really change the way he feels about himself. So I know that I feel it won't be too long before there is that reconnection with you both. So do you have a birthday in April coming up?
No.
No. What's happening in April? I feel like there's some significant event in April in your family.
Well, that used to be my mom's birthday, but she's deceased.
Yeah, okay. Well, I just know that will be a time when things come back together, because I do feel that your mum on the other side will be working towards that as well. I know that she was a very strong and beautiful lady. So I know that there's a lot going on in the background. So the main thing for you is just to keep holding him in the energy of love. I feel with you as well that you struggle with yourself a lot because of it. So it's really just learn how to let it go. So I feel that you've got very good support around you otherwise. Yeah?
Oh, thank God. Yes.
Yeah.
You described everything to a T.
Okay. Well, look, I wish you... Yeah.
As long as he's okay, that's all I worry.
Yeah, I know. And it's a normal thing for a mum, because I know too, and I don't hear from my daughter, and I said to you, she's over there, she's in Atlanta, and we don't often connect because of timing and all of that sort of thing. And you can tend to worry. But your son's got a lot of knowledge, he's got a lot of wisdom, and he's really a sensible boy at heart, so I know that he's doing everything right for himself. And your thing now is just to look after your own health. I feel you must have a lot of issues around your legs, do you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I feel...
And my back.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm feeling that. I know that next year your job as well is to begin to look after yourself. And, just get yourself, if you're looking at having an operation or something on the legs, don't worry about it. I feel it's something that, will help you. If you may be a bit scared of it, but I think it will really help you to get that energy sorted. Because I know what I'm seeing in my mind. I don't really want to say it on air. But look, I know that, just looking after yourself next year needs to be your priority. And I know you've got a lot of knowledge inside you to help you with all of that. So look, I wish you a happy new year.
Oh, thank you so very much. I really appreciate it.
Well, it is absolutely my pleasure. And I know you've got
blessings to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Karen. All the very best.
Thank you. Same to you.
Okay, very good. All right, so now I'm going to talk to Brandy. Brandy Burnett. Oh, Brandy in Burnett, sorry, in Texas. So hello, Brandy. How are you today?
I'm doing very good. How are you?
Good. I was just reading my Dave, who's my producer, because we've got this language thing happening. He always tells me how to pronounce things in case I don't know. So you're in Burnett, which I thought was your name, but anyway.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Oh, lovely. So how was your Christmas?
Good, very good. We had a great Christmas, actually.
It's fabulous, isn't it? Feels very connected and very lovely. So how can I help you today, Brandy?
I'm not really 100% sure. I was calling, I was just thinking I made a big change in the last year, and I'm trying to decide if it was a good change for the future for me and the kids, or if it was not a good change.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that's interesting. Well, straight away when you say all that, I feel that it has been a very positive change for you. And I know sometimes we just have to see the bigger picture, because what I feel at the moment is I feel a little bit isolated. Did you move? Did you move from somewhere to somewhere?
I'm still local in the same town, but yes, I moved out of somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't feel that was the major change, but I just know that there's lots of feelings of, oh, did I do the right things? So, because I also feel that you've actually allowed yourself to receive more in the last year as well, in a very beautiful way. Do you understand?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, the energy, because I always see things in pictures, and it's as though I'm sort of nurturing myself much more this year, that I've done a lot more for myself. What's your birthday, Brandy? Just give me your birthday, and it'll give me a bit of insight as well.
December 1st, 1980.
Okay, so the 1st of December, 1980? Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, 10, 18, 20, 21, 22. So you're a 22, which is a master number. And 2, 3, 4, 5. So this year was all about creating freedom for you. So whatever you did, it was about freeing you up. And I feel that you've, whatever changes you put in place, they feel good. So were they around your children as well, the changes?
Yes.
Yeah. So it feels right, because I feel that you've potentially either put them into, some form of preschool or care or something. Whatever you've done for them, it's been the right thing, because I feel that that's enabled you to have more space and time for yourself. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually, just to kind of give you a heads up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have 3 children of my own and 3 stepchildren.
Yeah.
And I separated. I've raised all the kids together for the last 10 years. I separated and moved in on my own, raising my 3 kids on my own.
Oh, yeah. So that, in my mind, that makes sense, because what I was seeing, it was like I was putting some children over there. So I understand that. And so as hard as that is...
I'm not sure on my birthday, like if you said my birthday, I'm not sure if you had my birthday right.
The 1st of December?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, 1980. Yeah. Yeah, so when I add all that up, it comes to 22 in your numerology. 10, 18, 20, 21, 22. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, which is a 4. 22 equals 4. 4 is all about hard work. But when I also add up, I do another way that tells me what year you're in. So this year was about freedom for you. It was about finding freedom. And the image I got at the beginning as well, where I said about nurturing yourself, that is exactly what you've done. You've chosen yourself. You've chosen your children over others. And even though you've had those stepchildren in your life, your first priority is to yourself first, and then your children, and then, so you have to look at that. So it takes courage to do what you've done. Really does take courage, I know, because it's not easy when you've formed a relationship and a bond with other children. So I know that you making that change will allow the other person, the other people to change and to grow. And I do feel it has been the right thing for you. I know, because the other thing I saw right at the beginning was I was putting bigger boundaries around myself and making more space. So all of those things together, it's certainly going to help your children as well, and it will help you. It'll help you get back into the world. And the main thing now is just to let go of regret. And sometimes we keep going over and over things in our mind. And I feel that's what you're doing at the moment. There's a little bit of, if I'd said this or done this, it might have been different. But I actually sense that you're still friends with your partner. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's a good thing, because there's, not all breakups have to be bitter and angry, because it's through this friendship that you have. I feel you'll learn a lot about yourself, And sometimes there are just different ways of being in relationship. Because if I look forward to the future for you, just seeing where I go with this. Yeah, well, it's interesting because I feel once you don't have to be all things to all people, you can get your sense of yourself back a little bit, and you can move back into that. You know, when we're in a relationship, we want to be attractive. We want to have energy for a relationship, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah. And so my feeling is that you're rediscovering yourself. And it's interesting because the last card I drew is the Lover's card. So if you come back to look at the video, it tells me that you're going on a bit of an adventure next year, but ultimately the relationship that you have is improved. So I don't know at this point, my sense is that you two will always be friends, that you will always love and support each other. And I feel you're just going to learn how to do it a different way. So I'm just drawing other cards while I'm talking to you just to see what else I get. Because I don't feel you've given up, have you, on this relationship completely?
I haven't given up on it completely, but I'm really unsure of it.
Yeah. Well, look, the sense I get is that, you have to look at different things in relationships. And when I ask, have you got the same values, I get that mostly you do, because values are very important in a relationship. Can't be in a relationship with someone where the values are completely different. It's too difficult. But I see that you've got mostly the same values, but what you did have was a lot of pressure on you and a lot of difficult circumstances. So my feeling is at the moment that you need to regroup, and that this whole time now is about nurturing yourself and reconnecting with your life and what it is that you had wanted to do, so that as you find that part of yourself, you open up again. I'm not sure whether it comes back together. That's your choice. But I know it's beautiful that you still have that friendship and that sort of connection. So I think that's a beautiful thing. You go into a year of 6 next year, which is all about reinventing yourself in lots of ways. And it's about making choices next year. So the thing I see for you is there is another choice, and it feels around either study or work. So are you looking at going back to more study?
I've thought about it.
Yeah.
I've thought about it a little bit. I'm actually thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, so, at the moment, you're just in that little bit of no man's land. Did I make the right choice? Yes, you did, because you chose you. So once you become aligned with a choice and you accept your decision and you let go of guilt, it opens the doorway to a sense of peace within yourself. And really, when you're at peace with yourself, the thoughts and the inspiration will flow in a much quicker way.
That would be nice.
Yeah, well, I know at the moment you're sort of you're second guessing yourself all the time, and when you second guess yourself, it is very difficult to be in that flow. So who liked the roses? Have you got roses around you?
Do I have roses around me? No.
Yeah, rose bushes. Nobody in spirit with rose bushes. I'm just seeing somebody cutting roses. Oh, okay, not sure what that is. Well, so the sense I just get when I see that too then is it's really about you. As I said, roses for me are the essence of love. So how can you bring that into your home now? Because I feel where you've moved, it's just time to make that your nest and really make it where you want it to be. Your children seem very settled, is what I feel.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I know that what you've done has been the right thing. So I don't know what else I can say. Do you have any questions about any other part of your life?
My kid's father, actual real father passed away a few years ago. And I was just wondering if he was ever around for the kids.
Look, I do sense that he is around them. So do you have 2 boys?
My first originally 3 are 2 girls and a boy, and my stepkids are 2 boys and a girl.
Yeah, okay. Well, look, I do sense their father around them. From spirit, the energy is always there. They're always connected. Wherever there's a heart, connection, there is always that connection there. I do feel with him that the circumstances obviously weren't the best at that time, but I know that you've done a great job since then in bringing up your children.
Yes,
and that's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing when you've had a passing in that way. So, look, I know he's there. I know he does what he can to sort of let you know that he's there as well. Yeah. Okay, I'm just trying to tune into him a little bit. Yeah, so I know that where he is now, there is peace. I know that wasn't always the case in his life. So the main thing for you now, what I do sense is there's a lot of indecision around you, and it feels as though I need to really use really tap into your intuition. And you've got a great sense of humour. That's been your thing that's helped you along the way. So I just wish you well with your next year, and know that all the things that you're looking to do, just focus your heart and your attention on them so that you think about what's right for you now, because I know it will come to fruition. So I wish you well. I wish you a happy new year, and look forward to hearing and seeing how things pan out for you. Okay, so that's our show today, everyone. Thank you very much, and I wish you all a happy new year. It's going to be a very warm and incredible one here. So I wish you well. Hope you enjoy it. Stay safe, stay connected, and look forward to seeing you next week here on the show. Susan Kennedy, see you next year. See you next year.